Hi, everyone, and welcome to Rescripted Podcast, where we could celebrate the great things in life, share about the not so great parts, and find out how we can rewrite those challenges, turn them into insightful moments that will lead us to change, to growth, to happiness, and empowerment, all so that we can live the life we truly want to experience. My name is Amy Quiles, and I'm a personal development coach that helps you overcome self-doubt and self-sabotage so that you can live your dream life. Okay, so today we're going to talk about understanding self-sabotage. Now, I know that this isn't comfortable. I know that it isn't pretty, but the truth of the matter is, in some form, shape, or manner, we all self-sabotage in one way or another, right? Because really what that is doubting that you're able to do something and then also acting out on that doubt, meaning like you don't take action. So for instance, if you feel that you're called to do something, right, you're really excited about a new project or a new development or just something that you want to do in your life, right? You want to take the chance and take the leap and try something new. Maybe there's a dream in your heart. Maybe there's something that you've really been wanting to do for a really long time. And for so long, you've wanted to do it. For so long, it's been a goal. It's been a dream. It's been a mission. But for whatever reason, things along the way have gotten in the way and distracted you. So you never got to them. So along the way, time has passed. You've achieved other things, whether it was in alignment with who you really are or not. You created things, experiences, allowed an environment to take place, and sometimes you keep procrastinating until one day you realize, man, I really keep thinking about this particular, achievement that I want to have, right? Whether it's a new job, whether it's a family, whether it's relationship, whatever that may be for you, a fitness goal. There's just a goal that you've been really wanting. And for so long, maybe months and years that you've been wanting this goal, but for whatever reason, it hasn't come to fruition yet. Well, there could be some components that, had a factor in it. And a lot of it has to be more self-sabotage because, it's so easy for us to point the finger at somebody else and say, well, because of this person or because of this circumstance or because of this situation, I wasn't able to do X, Y, Z. But, when you really want something, you will find any way to make it happen, right? When it means something to you, you would put in the time and effort. And that's something truly, truly important to take away and to factor. Because when you self-sabotage, there's an assessment that you have to do, an internal assessment, right? So you have to evaluate how important is this to you? For instance, I'll use myself as an example. Being a personal development coach was something that I wanted to do, but I didn't know the title of it, right? I didn't know that being a personal development coach was actually a thing, but I knew that I always wanted to help empower people. I wanted to help people get out of their own way and be able to go after their greatest desires, their greatest achievements, their biggest goals in life. Because ultimately, if it's pressed in your heart to do it, it's because it's meant for you. It's part of your calling. But when we self-sabotage, it's that we convince ourselves that we can't do it. And you kind of go through this like process where at first you're just like, it's just a wish. It's just a fad. It's just something I'm into for the moment, right? So you try to convince yourself and you try to downplay the desire of it. I remember when I was young, I wanted to be a singer, because I just loved seeing other people capture an emotion and really highlight it I didn't understand what it was, but I understood that whatever they were singing from a place of that it captured a certain emotion, whether it was fun, whether it was love, whether it was happiness, whether it was sad. They were able to capture an emotion, embody it, and then and bring it out through song. And I thought that was so beautiful. Because I think when I was younger, I wasn't really like super emotional. I was always very, very logical. So I wasn't super emotional. So I found it to be beautiful when somebody could exercise their emotions and make art out of it. But I was so shy that I was like, I could never do that. Right. But then also as life developed, I realized that, I really love seeing people happy. I really love seeing people light up. And but I just didn't know how to harness that. I didn't know how I can actually create that into a product or a service to where it can actually help others. So I kind of just felt like, well, let me try to figure me out first, right? Let me see if I could like personally develop myself. And if I can do so, then I can understand the journey so much more. And then if I could replicate it with other people, then and I'm able to prove that there's great significance in personally developing yourself and that it is a lifelong journey. You are a lifelong student to your experience because you're ever evolving. But, my goal isn't for you to be a lifelong student of mine. I want you to be a student until you're able to understand that the most beautiful student that you could be is a student of your own life. And I just wanted to give you the components and the keys and the securities of how to do so. So that is really, truly, the purpose behind this podcast is to help you find the keys to success to your life in your own way. So, of course, the only thing that can hold you back from that is sabotaging yourself and not going after those things. And, being able to go on that journey, I was able to understand the different elements and the different components that add to the sabotaging ways that make you limit yourself, make you stop yourself, make you downplay the things that are really important, and I don't want you to do that because the truth of the matter is, I'm going to be honest, there's a price to pay for everything in life. Whether you choose not to go after your dreams, there's a price to pay. And a lot of times, part of that price is feeling that void within that disalignment that you would have, that it doesn't feel like it's an authentic experience to you. And although you could ignore that for some time, maybe like a couple years or, a couple months or whatever have you, but it starts to eat away at you. If you're really out of alignment, like that just messes with you so much that you get to a point where you're like, I have to do something. I have to do something. I can't continue on like this. So the price of settling is feeling unfulfilled and not really knowing your purpose and not really feeling aligned. You can have joy. You can definitely be happy. I'm not saying you can't have happiness, but there's a difference when you are filled with purpose and and you feel enlightened about what you're doing. There's a completely different feeling. It's a completely different experience. And it's definitely one that you want to give yourself the gift of having, you know, because that alignment also brings healing into other different things. But when you self-sabotage and you don't align with what's true to you, what's authentic to you, you feel different areas of fatigue in your life, whether it's emotional, whether it's again like alignment, purpose, and then sometimes you start to question the people that you have around you, and a lot of times they have nothing to do with it. They're innocent bystanders that just happen to be family members or happen to be loved ones or friends, but because you just can't detect what is holding you back and you chose to settle then and chose to sabotage yourself by not go out and find out what that is, right? Not to see what that fulfillment is, what it looks like, and you choose to settle instead, then the truth of the matter is that you give part of you. And you can love the people around you. You can absolutely love them, but it feels different when you give it feels different when you give all of you versus the best of you. You know, you don't have to deplete yourself in order to be there for someone. That's not the goal. That's not the purpose. That's not the intent of having people around you that love you, or, you know, people that you love so much. It's not to give your all to the point of depletion. It's you want to be able to share the best of you. But in order to do that, you have to care for yourself too. You have to care for yourself in a way that highlights the value that you have and also highlights how you can offer that value, you know, because once you're able to nourish yourself, well, then that's the same nourishment in which you can provide to somebody else, because, you know, we can only share what worked for us, you know, anything outside of that would be a theory, you know, but, you know, for me to sit here and tell you what it would take to be, you know, a billionaire, a trillionaire, my advice would just be from theory, from, you know, research of proof of evidence of people being able to achieve that. But that's not because I'm able to give you a blueprint to that. That's not my experience. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a trillionaire, right? So I wouldn't be able to tell you how to get there. Um, so something in your spirit, if I was to try to give you advice on how to be, you know, a trillionaire or billionaire, something in your spirit will feel like something I'm telling you is a little off base. You won't be able to know for sure what it is, but you'll be like, it's almost like that message isn't fully matured. You know, there's some components that are missing there. And and you don't want that. You don't want to live that life where you feel like what you do or what you say can come off a little bit scammy, right? Because you're just trying to go ahead of yourself, and or you're trying to do something you're not supposed to, right? Because instead of facing what your purpose is, you're trying to follow what is advised to do, and therefore you do it, but you realize it's not in alignment with who you are. So when it's not in alignment with who you are, that's where those feelings of imposter syndrome come in, because you don't feel authentic. You don't feel like it's you, and you do feel like an imposter, you know, because you're going to feel like, oh my God, someone's going to realize like this isn't true, because you don't want to keep it up. You know, there's a part of you that doesn't want to lie. There's a part of you that doesn't want to keep this facade up, because you want to be true. You almost do it to fake it till you make it. But then you realize that once you've made it, once you're authentic to your journey, then you don't want to fake it, because in faking it, you're robbing yourself, and you're robbing those who you're trying to teach. You're robbing them of valuable components that were bypassed, that were skipped and missed because you were trying to propel yourself too forward before time, you know, like prematurely. And I think that's something that's not spoken about a lot. Like we want to rush in everything. And I get it. I get it, because I'm like that too. So I'm not judging anyone. I completely understand it. But, you know, when I go on these journeys and of self-discovery and able to like develop myself, because that is a continual thing for forever and ever. I love personal development, and I'm committed to it daily. That's why it's so easy for me to come here and talk to you about it, because I understand it, and I understand where some of those trigger points can be that may want to deter you from what you're doing, the goals and ambitions. But I just want to share with you that those are just mindsets that you're trying to recondition and realign yourself with what you are built to do. And sometimes you need to hear things a couple of times before it clicks. And sometimes you can hear things just once, and then you're like, I get it. I got it. Like that's the missing piece to like what I was trying to do, you know? And that's what I want you to feel at the end of the day in this journey. I want you to feel like you're collecting the pieces to your puzzle, because ultimately your puzzle is going to look different from mine. But at the end of the day, if you know how to detect what your puzzle pieces are, then it's going to be easier to shape that picture, that image, build that landscape for yourself, because you're actively being aware of what that looks like. And if you don't like something, then you know how to remove it, you know? Like I say in cooking, when you cook, you want to cook with ingredients that you like. You don't want to cook with ingredients that you don't like, because you're not going to love it. And you take the time to cook, you invest in like buying all the materials, and ingredients, and you know, you want to create such a great meal. But if you do it with ingredients that you don't enjoy, well, then all of that went for nothing, right? It was kind of like a waste because you're not going to eat it. And chances are, if you didn't make it with love, then maybe somebody else isn't going to absolutely love it either. And then it's just going to be a waste of your time and energy. And I think life is kind of like that. Like life is your own style of seasonings, you know, and you get to see how you want to create that experience for you. So I would definitely say that in building yourself, you have to also see how you are deconstructing yourself and see if it's good, if you're taking components in your life that need to be extracted, right? Maybe there was something that worked in the last phase in life, but it's just not going to serve you in this phase in life. So maybe it worked then, but now it's time to let go of that and implement like a new strategy, implement like a new order of operation, right? So if you have to implement something new, well, then it's new landscape, and you kind of have to figure that out. You're going to have to work with that out a little bit. And at first it may be messy, right? It's new to you as you're trying to figure it out. But once you figure it out, it's so fun because it's almost like you have the cheat sheet to it, because in your last season, you were able to pick up all of your, the components to make up you, what's authentic to you, what's your order of operation authentically to you. So when you go to the next phase in life, in the next chapter, and you have to pivot and you have to grow, well, you already know what are components that help you move along quicker. You know, like I've said before, for me, I use color as a form of communication because it allows me to consume information a lot quicker. Different colors represent different things. So that gives me quick information, you know? So moving forward, that's just a form of communication that I use. And I've been able to take that with me in different stages and in different phases in life because that is authentic to me. You know, so you will end up finding that things are authentic to you. And that's what's going to help you achieve your goals. It's going to aid to the end result because little by little, you're kind of putting together the formula that makes you and the best way that you can operate. So of course, it's going to be enjoyable because you get to do it your way. And as long as you're able to get the results that you want, well, then that is a success, regardless of what is your particular style. You know, hopefully it is a holistic way, right? Authentic to you. And something that is, it's rooted with good intention, you know, not harm anyone, but find what works for you. And you're going to see that the blessing is not just going to be the results. The blessing is going to be how you feel about how you achieved it and how much you've grown and how proud you are of yourself and how you want to continue on that trajectory, you know, and that is ultimately what's going to erase the self-sabotaging ways, because if you're getting results, then you're not an imposter, you know? It's what's going to make you feel like an imposter is when you're out of alignment with your purpose, with your values, with what you truly believe in. So if you're doing something and you're good at it, but you feel like I don't deserve these wins because I don't care, it's not that you don't deserve those wins, it's that you don't appreciate them because they're not really aligned with the coreness of you, your values, you know, your aspirations. But if you were to put those same elements of what you've done to achieve your results, and if you're able to put them in a situation that really does matter to you, you're going to feel different. It could be the same acts, the same motion, the same results, but you'll feel different because it was part of something that you really enjoyed, you know? So that's going to be an element for you to really be proud of, something that you're going to be really excited about. And that in and of itself is going to lend itself to start chipping away at that self-sabotage, because you're going to be like, oh yeah, I can do this, or I'm really good in this area. So I'm going to really lean into that. And that's what's going to give you the success that you really seek for and search for in life. And ultimately that's such a great win, feeling fulfilled and accomplished and with great purpose. That's such a great win in and of itself, because not everybody does that. Not everybody gets a chance to really deep dive and see what they're made of for them. That you have to prove yourself to you. And when you do that, life just opens up in a different way. So I know this is a long video compared to most of my videos, but I did want to get that in because I thought it was really important for you to understand that self-sabotage is something that can absolutely be changed. It could be absolutely changed in moments. You just have to believe that the journey that your heart is telling you to go on is worth going on. And through it all, you will grow in it, whether you're stumbling through it or whether you're smooth sailing through it. You know that you're on this path because it's aligned with who you are. And once you're aligned with your values and your purpose, then you feel authentic to you. And that in and of itself holds significant weight. It makes you happy. It even makes you feel healthier because you feel like so elated about what you're doing. You're so invested in what you're doing and you really want to pour back into it. And that is something significant and that is something worth experiencing. So if that's something that you're interested in, then of course, I would not let you just figure it out all on your own. I definitely have a course for you. And in my course, it's actually a masterclass, Take the Lead. It allows you to see how you can go ahead and take that control back and take the lead of your life and be able to make those decisions profoundly and confidently. And as you move forward, each and every step, you learn to trust yourself more and more and more, because you do have to be the authority in your life, but you don't want to do it just because you think it's an element of strength. I want you to be the authority in your life because it's an element of freedom to you, because ultimately that's what you need. To get the success you want, you have to feel free to be that authentic you, to get those results, that's where the wins really are. It's not how heavy your power could weigh. It's about how profound your freedom really allows you to be, because that's where so much creativity comes out of, like so many different things. You get to see things from so many different angles, but in a way that is inspiring to you. And that's exciting. That's really an experience worth having, and you owe it to yourself and you deserve it. And that is a treat that you should give yourself, because life is a gift, right? So make sure that you use it wisely, allow it to develop and nourish yourself with personal development, because you are worth every bit of that joy that is in you, and you want to experience it from the inside out. And Take the Lead will help you take the authority so that you can not only feel powerful, but also be freed to be authentically you. So God bless you. I hope you enjoyed this very long podcast episode today. I really did want to highlight how simply we could change things around. Sometimes they feel really heavy, but if we break them down and realize there's a simplicity to everything, if we really lean into the simplicity, we're able to extract profound knowledge out of these lessons. So that's all I want to do and share with you so that you can figure out how to live your dream life in the best way, but in the most simplest, most beautiful way possible for you. So God bless you. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if you enjoyed this episode and feel like it was insightful, then I ask you to please rate it, like it, and subscribe, and share it with someone you feel will enjoy it. I'll be back here next week and we will continue to discuss matters regarding personal development. Take care, guys. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you next time.